Hi, I'm Richard.
I'm Margot.
This is week 4 of March 2019 Social Dance Track.
At Wednesday Night Hop.
This week we wrapped up our 4-week series with a focus on using the metaphor of a conversation for social dance.
Communication.
So the first thing that we talked about was the difference between open and closed leading. Watched a little video, an example of
moving through those different states.
Yeah.
And then we worked on some examples. And our first example was based on a pass-by. And we started with a regular 6-count pass-by.
5, 6, 7, and a 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah. And in our open and closed leading idea, we talked about the idea that we're moving through those levels of connection that we talked about last week, our levels 1, 2, and 3, having a little bit of energy to initiate a move. And we talked about the idea that the leads are helping to end a 6-count pass by around count 4 when they drop the hand back down. And then we talked about the idea of the follows taking advantage of a little bit of a relaxed or open lead to kind of extend and play with that pass by just a little bit. So we added a new little bit of a variation. We gave the follows an opportunity to try doing their pass by with a Shorty George instead.
5, 6, 7, and a 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6.
And then I danced through it a regular way. One more time.
Get over here so they can see you coming down the line. 5, 6, 7, and a 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So in that case, I left it as an open lead on the pass-by. So I initiated the movement and then relaxed the connection at the top, which allowed the follower enough time to do some variation and turned it from a 6-count move into an 8-count move.
Mm-hmm. Now, we know that in some cases the lead will have other things in mind and they will really want that to be in an 6-count pass-by instead of an 8-count. And we can still do that Shorty George if we have a nice relaxed entrance to the move. Follows just need to be listening with their follow antennae to feel when we actually get asked for an earlier ending. So if we had intentional close on 6 counts instead, we'd basically just end it 2 counts earlier.
5, 6, 7, and a 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and 6. So you notice on 4, I was already starting to move the hand down and put a little bit more energy into the connection.
Yeah, and I can feel that as a follow. And then the last variation that we did to kind of play with a little bit was the idea of call and response. So we added the idea that in a good social dance, if the lead sees the follow do something that's unexpected or a little bit fancy, they can choose to join in and mimic or do it along with. And in this pass-by example, what we showed was the idea of the lead joining in the Shorty George.
5, 6, 7, and a 1. Ooh, that's kind of neat. 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So on the 5 and 6, in that case, I went into the Shorty George motion, and I was connected in this cape connection across my follower's back, moved down the line together, and then ended with a rock step, triple step out into the 8-count.
Yep. And then the last thing that we worked on was adding that same kind of open lead idea to the beginning part of a swing out for another example. So a lot of different techniques exist out there for leading a swing out. There's a rock step to begin your swing out on 1 and 2. There's leading your follow to do their own rock step. You can lead them out to the side. And for this particular example to work, we wanted the leads to think about leaving their connected hand
in place,
in their partnership in the same place, and doing their own rock and connecting on 2, moving towards each other. So basically giving the follow a little bit more space on 1 and 2.
5, 6, 7, and a 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So if you watch the hand on 1 and 2, it stays right in the middle in this case, as opposed to when I typically would lead in on 1 or lead a rock step 5.
And we're in kind of, if you remember from last week, we're kind of in that 2 state. So we are not entirely relaxed, but we're also not ready to do a thing in our heightened level 3 state.
5, 6, 7, and a 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Yeah. And then we played around, I guess, one more variation, and we said, well, so if the leads see the follow do something fun and they know how to mirror it, then that's an opportunity for them to jump in and do another kind of call and response where the lead joins in the second time they lead the move.
Yeah, usually you wouldn't catch it on the first one, but if you're dancing a swing out and you see a follower do an interesting variation, you say, oh, I can steal that the next time.
I can do that.
5, 6, 7, and a 1, 2, 3, and 4. That was really cool. 5, 6, 7, 8, or 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Yeah. So that's all the material that we worked on this week. We hope you enjoyed this series. It was fun for us to plan, and we covered a lot of different stuff, and we'll hope to see you again sometime soon. Thank you.